Yep, setting you guys up here. Okay, so first of all, these are spot welds. There's little indents like that, usually down where two panels meet. Those are spot welds right there. What you want to do to remove something like that? Well, first of all, you got to get a center punch, and let's turn you on here. Oh, wrong button. Sorry, guys. There we go. You're gonna get a center punch and a hammer, and what you want to do is you want to put your center punch in the middle of the spot weld and give her a nice, good little whack there. Nothing crazy. You're just trying to make a divot as close to the center of the spot weld as you can. Sometimes if you can't see where the spot welds are, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get yourself an angle grinder, and you're going, where the fuck, where did I put my goddamn angle grinder? Son of a bitch, it must have grew legs and walked the fuck away. Oh, I see, it's on the floor. Good place for it, on the floor. But, I'm trying to find shit here for you guys. Here we go, I found it. Alright. You're going to want to get yourself a 90-degree air grinder or something of that nature that'll work the same. And there's a couple different things you can use to find your spot welds. Okay? Couple different things. One of the things you can use is a bristle disc. These are awesome. I like these. They come in different colors. There's green, yellow, white, black, blue, whatever. They're like different grits. But these are made out of a plastic, and they got, like, I guess little pieces of metal infused in with the plastic, and it's like a bunch of fingers. I don't know if you can see that, bristles. And what this does is this will take away just the paint and stuff, or rust even, that's on the panel with minimal amount of metal removal. Like, this does not remove like any metal. But say I couldn't see this spot weld that's right here. Okay? What I would do is I'd take my bristle disc and my grinder and I'd go over top of that area and see what it does there. What it does there is, since the spot weld is a low spot on the panel, it takes the paint away from around the spot weld. It takes the paint away from around the spot weld, and it makes the spot weld stand right out. Right there's the spot weld. And you can do that with the bristle disc. They sell them in a couple different sizes. This one is a smaller one, and this one is a fucking larger one. Woo! The green ones are good for like multi-purpose. You can do a lot of shit with the green one. You can also do the same thing with a wire wheel. A wire wheel, you're going to want to push light on the surface because the wires will actually contour into the spot weld. But even if you take all the paint away and you're down to bare metal, you'll be able to see that spot weld easier than when it's painted. The other thing you can do is like these Scotch-Brite discs. People like to call these cookies. They work good too. They don't take away any metal, and it just takes away the paint, which is what you're going for when you're doing a repair like this, because well, it doesn't really fucking matter on this because I'm cutting the cab corner off. But say if I wanted to salvage this cab corner and take the panel off from underneath it or something, I'm trying to leave as much metal on the car as possible, because when you use a grinder and you're grinding away metal, what you're doing is you're just making it thinner, which is the opposite. You're not fixing it, you're making it worse. But I also want to say, safety first. Whenever you're doing something like this, make sure you got your safety glasses on, bare minimum at least. But yeah, you want to center punch all your spot welds. If you have trouble finding them, just do there what I showed you. I didn't have any trouble finding mine, so I'm going to go with it. The other thing you're going to want to get yourself is a spot weld drill bit of some sort. This is like a little hole saw on this one. Harbor Freight, $5. I love them. I've had this one on here forever. I just broke teeth off of it yesterday, so I flipped it over. I must have had this thing for 2 years. But you're going to want to take the little center arbor on this spot weld drill bit and put it where you just made your center punch. And you're going to want to drill in on the spot weld. This is a spring-loaded arbor, so you can push it in. And you're going to want to push in slow until you get your ring going, and then you can push harder, because if you just go at it, this will jump all over the place on you. I'm sure one of these is going to jump on me, so you guys will see it. But you want to put your arbor right in the center of your center punch and go into it slow. See, just jumped on me. They tend to do that. Oh man, you guys dropped. That ain't no good. I don't want to break this fucking thing. Can I sit you up there? Can you see this? Yeah, you can see this. Alright, continue. Son of a bitch. Battery's going dead. Let me get a new one. Oh yeah. I like doing that, I don't know why. Not trying to copy picture, I just like saying, oh yeah. And when you do this, you're not trying to just drill like you're drilling a hole. You're trying to just cut through this first panel of metal so you can peel the one under it next. Plus you don't want to have holes there, because when you put your new panel on, you need metal to weld to. So you don't want to have holes behind your panel either. Okay. Well, the other thing I'm going to do now is I have my line continued from where I cut it here to over. So I'm going to go, I don't know, 1/8 to 1/4 inch below this line. That way I have a little bit of room to play with to make my repair panel fit perfect. Now, things I like to use to cut my panel, I'd like to use an electric 90-degree grinder with a cutoff wheel on it. I just find that the air grinder, the air cutoff wheels, they work, but unless you have a lot of shop air, I mean, I think I have 14 CFM here, and it doesn't keep up with my fucking air cutoff tool. So I like using this because plus you got a lot more balls with this, and I don't know, it just seems to make the job go faster. Alright, that's cut through. Now the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to get yourself a really good flat screwdriver like I'm going to use, or you're going to want to get yourself like a putty knife, but one of the chisel putty knives. I have one that's made by Mac, but I always break them fucking things. Or you can get yourself a seam buster. Now, I'm just too cheap to buy a seam buster. I really would love to have a fucking seam buster. What it is, it's a flat piece of steel that has like a chisel end on it that you can just slap behind the seam and pound with a hammer. And once you get it in, you can just hit it down on the blade end and it just bashes it apart. But I just used a flat-headed screwdriver, big one. This is a Craftsman 3/8. It's a big one. And when you do shit like this, make sure it's a lifetime guaranteed tool so you can beat the fuck out of it. And if it breaks, you get a new one. But you're just going to want to stick it behind your spot weld, tap it with a hammer, and you're loosening up the seam. And you're breaking free the spot welds that you just drilled out. There you go. She's broke free. And see how I have holes in this panel? But there, I don't. I'm going to take a grinder, obviously, because that hole that's missing here is still welded to the next panel. So this is double thick. So you take a grinder and you grind all those smooth before you put your panel back on. But there's my cab corner. That's not too bad. I've seen worse. You know, there's some rust in there, but it's still kind of solid. The main reason why I changed it was because of that big old dent, and you know, there was rust here. I could feel it when it was on the truck. I was just pushing here. That's how you can find rust sometimes, guys, if you can push hard enough just to tweak the panel ever so slightly. You know how a panel will give if you push on it hard enough? If you push on a panel and you listen, if you hear there's rust on the inside of that panel, guaranteed. And when this was on the truck, I was pushing around in this area here, right in this area here, and I could hear the crunching. So I decided to get a new cab corner, and I'm glad I did. But yeah, got some foam in here. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna clean out in here the best I can, and I'm going to throw some primer up in here to keep it waterproof. But yeah, now I got my cab corner off. Oh, I got my rocker off, I got my cab corner off, I got my bed off. So what I'm going to be doing tonight is I'm going to be cleaning up a little bit of surface rust I got left there, and down inside this yeah, this, I guess you could call it the rocker structure, I'm not sure. But, yeah, that's what I'm up to now. And I'm probably going to fit my panels and grind them smooth. I'll probably show you guys that. But I'm just going to clean up this rust right now, and then I'll turn you back on when I fit some panels.